Weber, and welcome back, my dear family and friends. We have a tremendous opportunity here. A guest. This just sort of came out of nowhere, and it's amazing to me because Nancy Singletary is the governor, is the well, let me get this right, the Republic governor for Georgia. What this means to me, and Nancy's going to fill in the details, but this is astonishing information, in my opinion. What this means is that we are switching to a republic. What is that? What does that really mean? What does that look like? It looks like, to me, to my mind, that we will no longer be governed by a bunch of elite Satanists, that we are taking power, that we must represent ourselves, that we must build our own government. And this is what Nancy is going to explain to us, how behind the scenes, since 1860 is when we basically lost the republic. And everyone's familiar with 1871, that when the corporation took over, and we've been ruled by these satanic gangsters for many decades, over a century, and probably before these people were running the planet. This is the switching point. This is the turning point. Economically, yesterday was November 22nd, and the switch has been flipped, and we are in essentially a new world. Oh, the camera looks great now. Now I can really see you. We are in the new republic. We are in the era of the new republic, where people are no longer debt slaves, medical slaves, information slaves, none of that. We are launching ourselves into a new world. So yesterday, the 22nd of November, the financial system was switched over basically to the quantum financial system, to the rails of XRP and XLM, the 2,222 coins, which will make it impossible for the gangsters to perpetrate their crimes against humanity financially as well. This information, coupled with this, the introduction to Nancy Singletary, she represents the new way forward, where we will create, like Lincoln. Lincoln was very into this. This is really the continuation of the Lincoln dynasty. He was killed by the banksters, but we are here to recreate and to resurrect the new era. This is unbelievable, where people will represent themselves, and we won't just have these gangsters. So I'm going to let Nancy take it from here, but I just want everyone to appreciate the magnitude of this broadcast. One other thing I want to say is that usually on our broadcast, we're looking for clues as to what's going on. This is what's going on, meaning we're not looking back anymore. We are actively creating a new government for the people, by the people, of the people. Nothing can stop what's coming. So I'm going to let Nancy. This is so exciting. I can. This, to me, this is like, I can't even explain how excited I am. But yeah, if you could, I tend to talk a lot too much. But anyway, if you could just inform us, like, just introduce us to what you're about, and what's going on right now.
Eli, I'm so honored to be with you. You carried me through some dark days, and it was really your honesty. And what changed your life changed my life at the same time. And it was just an awakening. And once you see, you can't unsee. You can't unsee what you already saw, which was the matrix. We were all living in a matrix, and we didn't even understand it. We were just still trying to be nice people and get along and whatever, not realizing that we were all ALL enslaved to a demonic system, because that demonic system has no choice, because they do not have natural energy. So they have no choice to create their energy that keeps them alive, literally, by basically sucking off humanity. Well, who's humanity? That's me and you, Eli. That's the whole world. We're all humanity, because you're part of humanity or you're not. You're part of humanity or you're not. And if you don't know by now that we're in a shuffling season, shame on you, right? I've reached out to many preachers, recently, and they just don't want to talk to me because we're in this shuffling season, okay? And that means we're going to shuffle this all out. And at the top, you're going to be at the cream of the top, so to speak, or not. So it's time to wake up. And I mean that in the kindest, nicest possible way I can possibly say. But if you think you're not enslaved to the almighty dollar bill, then you're, sadly mistaken. And I have been in this since basically like October of 2020. And I watched Mark Levin when I used to watch television, had watched it since J6. And Mark Levin said, hey, look, the president wants people to come to DC. And I said, holy, I don't want to go to DC in January. It's cold. But, once God tells you got to do it. So I'm DC, right? And kind of ticked a little bit because I didn't want to be in DC because it was just so cold. And I was still so naive. Why am I in DC in the winter? And so anyway, I still didn't have any answers. So at night, I've spent 5 nights up there. And I was like, okay, God, I went through today. I still don't have an answer as to why am I here? January 4th, January 5th, January 6th, everything changed. Everything changed. Because I was a little surprised when Trump said, now we're going to go to the Capitol. And I said, we are? Why not? I love beautiful walk. It was just a gorgeous day. So we get down to the Capitol, and what they had guarding the Capitol, they being in security, was bicycle racks. And I remember thinking, if they said, Nancy, you got to protect the Capitol, I would have done better than bicycle racks, but whatever. And these people standing there all in their garb. And I'm saying, thank you for your service. Appreciate everything you do. Still so naive, and within, 30 minutes, 20 minutes, very brief period of time, they backed away. And then we started being sprayed with gas. And I was like, okay, Nancy, is this real? And I'm like, it is. You better do something. So I turned away because it hurt my eyes. This hand came on my shoulder, and it was a man's voice. Lean your head back, lean your head back. And I leaned my head back, and he put something in both eyes, wound up being water. He gave me the water bottle. He slapped me really hard on the back. He said, you'll be fine, soldier. And I thought, okay, if we're going to fight, let's fight. So I turned around, boom, spray. My eyes hurt so bad, but I had that water. So I did the water. And then I turned around again, and they're spraying us, but it didn't hurt. And I said, I unzipped my jacket, my ski jacket, and I spread my arms like that. And I said, go ahead, spray me. God took away the pain. You can't hurt me. And then from this point, Eli, I could go on and on and on and on. But that led to, long story short, I am the Republic governor for Georgia. And we are in a time period where we need people to come and join us with President James Buchanan Tiger, Secretary of State Lieutenant Colonel Sandy Marecki, some heavy hitters, Michael Shuttlesworth, DW. See, if I start naming names, I could go on and on and on. A lot of heroes here. Randy Huber saved the day one time, lots of times actually, still saving day. But there's a few of us on this side, and we just need more people to come over to say yes, that we agree that we should go back to the Republic on December, write this date down, December 19th, 1860. That's the last day that we, America, humanity, we were a republic, or the republic. The next day we were democracy, democracy, which was division in 10,000 different ways. The evil ones had to keep us divided. They had no choice but to keep us divided so that they could literally live and survive off of our, they call it loot, but it's our negative frequencies because of what this world does to you when you try to play the game right, like I did, until I said I ain't playing the game right anymore. Because at a certain point on J6, I was thanking you, and then you turned on me, and that was probably a psyop. Whatever. I didn't back down. I didn't back down that day, and I'm not backing down today. But we are so kind. It's the nicest people in the whole wide world. And in 1860, whatever this time, we had a president, James Buchanan. He was the last president for the Republic. Our new president is James Buchanan Geiger. Tell me God's not in this. Tell me God is not in this. And, and we know that there's how many names to describe God correctly, right? So, so this is definitely not about religion, and it sure ain't about politics. Because I'm like, if it's about politics, I've broken all the rules. Okay, but in breaking all the rules, I'm still sitting here as the governor for Georgia, for real, and I am the only person holding. There's 8 positions in each state: governor, Secretary of State, 2 senators, 3 justices, House of Representatives. That's it. That's your whole government for Georgia. That kind of over Georgia just to make sure, but everything's run from the county level. The governor can't come into your county and tell you nothing. You do what you want to do in your own county. Now, if you invite me in for my advice, I would say, of course. Let me go to whatever county and you tell me your side and you tell me your side, and let's just see where we can meet in the middle, because it's all about us understanding one thing. We are all sovereign individuals, which means Christ lives within you. Christ lives within me, and he does. And when I say he, okay, but it's Christ, I am. Christ, I am, A-M, not A-N. Christ, I am. Words matter. Ask Eli. He knows words matter. Christian, Christ, I am. I did a deep dive, and the real word is Christ, I am. Because if Christ lives within you, then Christ lives within you. So it's Christ, I am. And until we realize that Christ really lives within us, get back to our sovereignty, God help. So sometimes I have a tendency to go on and on and on. So with that, I will turn it over to you, Eli. Thank you. And thank you for your patience.
Okay, so yeah, I totally agree that the divine lives within us, and we all have a divine presence, and that we need to activate this presence and to accept our own power and not submit to the Satanists who live off our negative energy and our fear and our envy and this sort of thing. Can you describe how the Republic, just for our friends and family on this channel, how one could get involved in the Republic? How do we actualize, what structure exists now in this new Republic?
Right. Well, the Republic, we have a website that's just filled with information. It's just overwhelming. That website has lots of videos and lots of audios and lots of history, because this has been going from a democracy to people waking up, and to the point where we are now is all on that website in chronological order. And it goes back to basically 2008. And then paperwork was signed 2010, and blah, blah, blah. President for the Republic is James Buchanan Geiger. Secretary of State, Lieutenant Andy Marecki. I already said that, but it was, when it's very important, it's very, very important to read it. So that being said, the Republic, we have a website, and I would be, honored to send that to you. And then we have another website, and it's like Members for the Republic for, and I will send you that website. And just at the right corner, there's a area that says register. Just click that. And the next screen will come up your name, your first name, your last name, your county, your state, your email, and your phone number. And you put the information in that you feel comfortable putting it in. And when you hit submit, that means you become an elector for the Republic, which just simply means it doesn't change anything about your life except you're saying, I agree, we should go back to a republic form of government where it's all about we, the people, not we, the government, we, the people. Okay. So that we are governed at a county level. So in your county, what do you want to do? Well, you do that, but you got to live amongst each other. It's got to flow. And we, of course, want it to flow because we are humanity and there would be no negative to it at all. Lots of benefits that has been stolen from us, not just our generation, but the generations before us. And it's just a time of awakening. And sometimes you just need somebody to get out there and speak truth, which I have today. And I could go on and on.
Nancy, could you just tell us the name of the website, or can you tell everyone how to get a hold of this, how to register as a member of the New Republic?
Yes. Let me pull it up. It's Republic, FOR, the United States of America .org.
Republic for the United States of America.org. I've already registered because you sent me the link. But for everyone
Yeah.
else, Republic again, what could you say it again?
Yes. Republic for, that's FOR, the United States of America .org. And that's just with information. The history that goes back to, like I said, all the way to 1860, but modern up to today would be 8 time period. And then we have another website to it. Members, MEMBERS Republic for the United States of America .org. I know that's a long website, but it is what it is. The website again, members Republic for the United States of America .org. And that's where you hit at the top. It will say register, and the next page will come up and ask your name, your county, your city, and your email address and phone number. And you put the information in that you want to. And when you hit submit, all you're saying, nothing changes in your life except you're saying, I would rather live in the republic as a sovereign individual than to continue in this democracy of Satanism, if you will. I mean, and that's just cutting to the chase. So I gave you the members website, correct?
Yes.
Okay, great.
So somebody's asking, this is Nancy Singletary, and she was introduced to me by Gila. And Gila, by the way, is going to be on in another week or so. We're gonna do a kind of reunion broadcast. but this is Nancy is the can you say the title again? The
Governor
Republic
for
governor for Georgia. Okay, she
yes,
is the Republic governor for Georgia, and she is,
yes,
from my understanding, she is asking people, or we are asking people to join us as
yes.
members of the Republic, which is different from the, this elite state of Satanism, whatever you
Mhm.
want to call it, that
Right.
that the people, and this is why I'm so excited about this, is that the government should be, by the people, for the people, that we should be the government, not some, holier than thou elite force with a badge and a gun that are telling us what we can do and not do, that are going to stop
Right.
our car because we're speeding. Well, I may have been speeding, but was there any reason why I can't go speeding right now? There are no people around. There's nothing.
Mhm.
There's no interference. There's no crime committed. This sort of thing. We are moving into an era of sovereignty where we will be our own rulers, and we won't have these elite pedophilic, creepazoids ruling over
Yeah.
us. We will say, "I am a human being, and you can't tell me anything. I'm not going to license. I don't need your license. I don't need your insurance. I don't need your bad medicine. I don't need your bad food. I don't want to take part of any of it. I am my own boss." And like Nancy was saying, there is a Christ. I mean, I wouldn't call it that, but I would say we have divinity within us. We are a very high level species, and we are coming into this kind of we're coming into an era where we will recognize our position in this on this planet. And what Nancy has so eloquently sketched out is that the only way evil can have power is if they steal it from us. They have nothing on their own. You see these forces on X, all they can do is say this is bad and I hate that one and I'm going against this. That is the definition of evil, is it really has nothing of its own, and it can only suck off you with negativity. They can't create anything. They can't build anything. They can't imagine anything other than to harvest your negative energy. So we are coming into a state of sovereignty where we will stand up, and it could be one person at a time. That's why this is so exciting. It's not like we're waiting for the right person to get elected. I live in Arizona. Am I waiting? I'm waiting for the right person to get elected so I don't have to worry about cops pulling me over for no reason. We're
Right.
not waiting. We're creating, because we are creators. We are divinely inspired creators, and this gives us a framework. In my opinion, this gives us a framework to kind of make it like public, to say, I'm part of the Republic. I'm part of this organization. And I'm sure that people like you and I and Nancy and Gila, and we are the ones who should be running, to whatever degree we need to run each other. But I mean, we are the government.
Right.
We don't need this big brother over us anymore.
Right.
And it is coming
We,
to an end. We are sick of it.
mhm.
But what I love about this is we're not just sitting here waiting to be saved by President Trump and the White Hats. We are actively saying we want to govern ourselves, and just, leave us alone. But this gives us,
Right.
in my opinion, a framework, so
Yes.
you can check in with the websites and just register. I did this morning, and I'll. By the way, I probably will be doing a broadcast later tonight, another broadcast. But when I heard of what Nancy Singletary is about, and what she represents, and what she's part of, I was so excited. I just, and without any real preparation, or we just said, we got to get out there and tell people.
Yeah.
Do you want to go through those websites again, just so that everybody can place themselves within this new republic? I, I,
Yes. Um, the information website is Republic for FOR the United States of America.org.
Okay, for
You want me to say it again?
uh
I don't.
so why don't you say the members one? So we have the Republic. I'll print this out later. I'll send out things on YouTube. I think I can send a note, but
Okay.
and I'll probably put it on X as well. But Republic for the United States of America.org, and then the other one was members,
Mm,
right?
yes.
Members dot.
Yes. Dot Republic. I'm sorry, I cannot see. Okay. Republic for the United States of America. So it's members. Oh, sorry. I should have already had this prepared. I didn't realize, but this
No,
is
no,
my
no, it's
very
fine.
time
We have
on
it,
a
Nancy. We have it. So
podcast.
it's members dot Republic for the United States of America. I'm sorry,
Yeah.
of America, right? Okay, cool. So everybody, I signed up. We could all sign up, but this is, in my mind, this is the next step forward. We do not have to wait to be ruled. We do not have to wait till they clean up the elections, till they decide that we can have honest elections. That there has to be a special executive order that makes it so people have to be actually citizens to. We don't have to wait for that. We are members of the republic, and we can really basically rule ourselves. That's what I'm seeing.
Right.
I mean, that's
Mhm.
why I live off grid. I don't, there are no inspectors coming up here. I'm not getting licensed for anything. I don't need a certificate of occupancy. I don't need my well to
Right.
be registered. I don't need any of that. I just want to be left alone to live my life. And this is the spirit of America. This is from the cradle of the republic. This is what our founders were all about. And now that's why I'm just blown out of my socks, really, because this is an opportunity for us to continue where Lincoln was shot down, JFK was shot down. They tried to take down President Trump. But we, the people, it has to come from we, the people. It cannot be we elect somebody that was picked first
Right.
by somebody else. It has to be us. We have to be the rulers of our own kingdom here.
Well, Eli, I truly believe that the military is just waiting. They look at those websites, guys. How many people are visiting the website? How many people have signed up to be electors? And in Georgia, the last count, which was up like yesterday, was 401 people. That's all we have in Georgia, 401 people that are basically inactive. And so anyway, we're just wanting the people to wake up. And the best way to do that would be to go to those websites, especially the members one. Well, the first one, and do your own research, and then go to members and click register. And like I said, that little bit of information. And when you hit submit, it's just you're saying it's time for us to go back to the Republic with James Buchanan, Guy, and Sandy Maraki as Secretary of State. And a lot of other patriots some of these people have been in the fight since 2008. Like President Geiger, long story short, he was voted in by like 22 million people. They had a vote. Do we want President Geiger to be our president? And 22 million people said yes. So he has held that seat since 2000, I think 12, but don't hold me, 2010, 2012 time period. A lot was happening. And in that time period, it happened in Utah, and the leaders for the Republic gave like a 72-hour notice, hey, come to Utah. And people came from all over the country just had to get to Utah. And some of the people flew in, and some of the people hitchhiked in and slept on the floor, literally, just to be. They had to be there. They had to be Utah. And that's where we, the people, the Republic, came together and said, look, we're writing our own Constitution, and we're going back to 1860, but modernizing. So they did that, and they signed that. And this happened in like 2012, 2010, I think, but 2010. But anyway, we, the Republic, met for the second convention. We met in Breckenridge, Colorado in October 17th and October 18th, 2025. And we had a convention there. We, the Republic, our president, our Secretary of State, several governors and senators and volunteers, and it was amazing. And and it was like we all knew each other. We didn't feel uncomfortable. It's like family, because it's like we're in here together. Behind the scene, we have calls like every night. We have prayer calls every day. We gather on these Zoom calls and we pray, read Bible scripture or whatever, and we fellowship like family, because we are family. We all are family. It has nothing to do with anything other than you're part of humanity or you're not. You're part of humanity or you're not. And that's that shuffling of the wheat as back, full circle, I do believe. But the very best thing you can do for us to like get this show to an end, if you will, so to speak, let's go to those websites, do your research within those websites. Read Jean and David Hartler's book, Re-Inhabited, Volume 2. There's Volume 1, Volume 2. She's writing Volume 3 now, or they are writing Volume 3 now. And go and get Re-Inhabited, Volume 2, by David and Jean Hartler. And that tells you, brings you up to date, sort of speak, like what happened in 2008. It goes back to 1860, the book I'm talking about, up to date. And we have this full functioning government behind the scenes, and y'all don't even know it. But we meet every night, prayer calls, and we have leadership calls, which just means the president and secretary of state and the governors. And we're all like, we're holding this together like a puzzle. You know what I mean? And all we're saying is that humanity, we love you, and you are so welcome in the Republic.
Beautiful. Well, thank you so much, Nancy, and I hope, I'm sure it looks like everyone's enjoying this. I will be back. I will do another broadcast later, but I think this
Okay,
is so
right.
important. I just stopped everything and I said, let's get online so people know about this new republic. And it could be that the White Hats are just waiting for enough people to sign up so that they understand that
They are.
that we are ready. That we are ready. Yeah, I'm sure they're watching this, but that we are ready to take back governance of ourselves, that we don't need this top down ridiculous craziness from these satanic individuals who live off negativity, of our negativity, and can't create anything of their own. So anyway, any last parting words you'd like to any last thoughts you'd like to leave with my community or our community about the new republic?
Well, I appreciate your patience with me, and you've been so kind, Eli. And I realize like the lighting's not right or whatever, but I just want you to see the flag. And that is what our flag looked like back in 1860. And why is it in circles? Well, if you go to this middle, right there, who lives in the middle of all of us, God, Hashem, Yahweh, humanity, and it's time for humanity to come together and shut off the negative frequencies that are just literally holding humanity down. Well, how can you do that? The military is literally checking those websites. The member one, well, how many people want this? Because the military don't want to kind of shove it down your throats. They're waiting on you to wake up and say, no, we actually do want this, because the military, I think it's in the Constitution that they can't hoard over us, lord over us. But so they're literally just waiting on the people to wake up. And the best way would be to look at those two websites, and also the Re-Inhabited websites, to order your book. And all of this is very historic, everybody. And I'm just honored to be here. And I, one moment, like, let's fight. And the next moment, I'm just so humble. So with that being said, I love you. And, you've carried me through some dark days, Eli. And I'll never forget that. And through you, I found Gila Deadweb. And when we connected, it was like twins instantly. And she's this beautiful Jew in New York, and she has her own podcast, and she's amazing. And she and I think just alike. Grew up completely different, but we think just alike. And she's carried me through some really dark times, because when you're doing the Lord's work, you lose everything, like money and all of that. And I'm like, Gila, and she just, you know what I mean? She just provides. Also, Tamar, Dr. Tamar, I can't say the last name because I just can't say it. I'm so tired. But Tamar has carried me through a lot of dark days. And without them, I literally, wouldn't have had food at times. And they sent me to Colorado. So I'll never forget that. And I love you always, and I love you, Tamar, always. And I love all of humanity. And let's get off this phone. But thank you, Eli. Bless you.
Well, God bless you too, Nancy, and we hopefully will see you soon. And I'll see the rest of you guys. We'll meet up in a couple hours, and just this is just an amazing treat. So thank you so much, Nancy, Republic Governor for Georgia,
For
and
Georgia.
for Georgia, and it's been a great honor to yeah.
And I just said
Great.
for the people.
For the people. It's a great honor to be here, and this should be the beginning. I mean, it seems like all the switches are on right now. The new economy is rolling out. All the evil players are being arrested or in the process of being found out. This is a D-class going on right now, and I think we're going to be the important thing is for us to create the structure for the new world, and I think that's what this really is.
Right. It is. Thank you, Eli. God bless you.
God bless you. Okay, we'll talk to you soon, and we'll see you guys later, okay? Have a
Okay.
great
Good
night.
night.